Well, welcome back to another video. It's Saturday the 7th of March, finally got another whole weekend to get some work done here on the Smallholding. So we've just finalised the design for the fireplace in the room that's going to be Tracy's office / library. So I think it turned out alright. We couldn't find one, so I decided to make one, and that's what it's turned out like. Pretty happy with the end result. So we're just going to get a couple of hours taping everything up. We've been to get the paint, get it all painted, and then hopefully we'll get a couple of hours outside to wash the greenhouse off. I hope you like the colour. What do you think?
Absolutely love it. The tester's sticking out.
Well, we're cracking on, a couple of hours in, get this finished, get outside, and the sun's beautiful. We don't want to be stuck in here, so I'm going to get one coat on. This is as bold as we've ever been, this colour, by the way. So we'll get one coat on, get outside, and get a bit of afternoon sun. Right, well that's it, we're one coat in, didn't take as long as I thought. So we're going to get a couple of hours outside, wash the greenhouse. Are you ready?
So finally outside getting a bit of sun, and in the back of the greenhouse, this is the perfect example of the mess that the greenhouse glass is in. All across, I don't know if it'll come up on camera quite how bad it is, but trust me, it's an absolute mess. And the reason being, well, one, it generally just gets like that anyway, but two, we have housed the ducks over just behind me there on the other side of the glass throughout the winter. So they were in the little sort of pond area that we created for them, splashing around, making a right mess, and obviously went all the way up the windows. Never got washed off or anything like that because it was a daily occurrence for them. And the front is not too bad. I don't know if that's obvious on camera that it's not as bad as the back pieces of glass there, but obviously that still needs a wash as well. So Stephen is going to use the jet wash, which he actually used last week on the patio area, to do outside in the roof. We did it last year, so the rest of it shouldn't be too bad. It really should be just those back panes of glass there. And I'm going to do inside. I'm going to get some hot soapy water and a scrubbing brush, something like that, and I'm going to do inside while he's doing outside. So after some much needed time outside, I decided to get the Instant Pot out because unfortunately, due to everything that's going on, we had to make the decision to turn the Arga off. So these little seedlings are struggling, but we've put them above the oil-fired radiator, which is the only thing we've got warm in the kitchen right now. But it does mean the Instant Pot is back out, and I cooked up some beef cheeks from the bottom of the freezer that have been in there for a very long time, and just popped those in so that we could have those as basically a snack or something to have a little bit later on. Put them in for an hour with the garlic and the onion powder, and goodness me, they were amazing.
All right. Oh yeah, that's all right, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Right, well, it's Monday night, back in from work, we're cracking on again in the library. It's starting to take shape, it's starting to look like the rendering, the AI rendering that Tracy's done. So we've got most of the floor down, we've got the fireplace in now, that's all stuck to the wall. We're taking a break because we're nipping out to get some little indulgence for the library. We'll show you that when we get back. And I've just also took a break because I'm at the fiddly bit now around the fireplace, so I need a break. So we'll reconvene in an hour.
Well, one of the reasons that we have been very excited, more so myself I have to say, about getting this room done is because we have always wanted a grandfather clock, and finally we were able to get one. This has just popped up on Marketplace and it was within our budget, and we even got money off. It was about a 30-minute drive and it played a tune to us the whole way back. And we've just carried it into the house and set it away. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's not a wind-up one, it's like a self-propelled for about 7 days, and then at the end of the 7 days, I think this pendulum drops all the way to the end, and you pull the chain, and it goes back up again, and then it continues for another 7 days. Absolutely fantastic. Always wanted one. There's different options on it which we're going to look at, but apparently there is an option that you can set it so it doesn't chime during the night, which Stephen was really worried about because he likes his beauty sleep. And there's also different types of chimes. You've got the traditional Westminster one, and then there's other ones which we haven't yet heard, but I think it's more like a melody. So of course we'll probably go traditional in this house, but literally absolutely thrilled. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Up here as well, last thing, there is a moon phase on it, so we're not too sure about how this works yet, but well, I know how it works, and then it shows the different phases of the moon, but we don't know how it knows which phase we're in now to know if it's the correct one, so time will tell. Time will tell. Anyway.
But it's not staying there.
No, it's not staying there, it'll move. I've just been getting picked on off my teenage daughter for saying that my hat and earworm hairband combo isn't cool. What do I know? We are going to get the sheep back out. All the farmers around have got their cattle out and things like that. We brought our sheep in just for the last few weeks because they were basically trashing the land. It is still wet from the downpour we had the other day, but it's only fair to get them out now. They're absolutely fed up being stuck inside, and they're getting fed here twice a day, so we could do them back out. I don't think they even needed that.
Well, another weekend, and we've been waiting for some sun and some wood, and we finally got a bit of both. So it's still a bit chilly around here. It's the 14th of March, Mother's Day tomorrow, so I'm going to try and get as much done today as we can. Been working in the house this morning, it's just after dinner, so we're going to crack on with the decking project. So we got this delivered yesterday morning. So I'm going to take all the posts over now, measure them all up and get them in, and we'll show you where we're getting on to with that. Right, well, it's nice to be back out in the garden finally. This is the decking project which we started last year in about October, but then the clocks went back, we lost all the light, winter came, it just put the project on hold, so finally we can get around to doing it. As you can see, the sun's on this area now, it's just after dinner, and it'll be on here till it goes down at 6 o'clock tonight, so it's the ideal place to put another sitting area, eating area, or whatever we want. So I'm just going to get started putting the posts in, because I need to put all membrane down underneath to stop you can see all the grass and the weeds, and the nettles are starting to come through already. So if I get these posts in, then I can get the membrane down before I even start putting the decking on. And then I was going to put another one in here coming up from this one. I'm just having a... Right, we've just spent the last 5 or 10 minutes deciding where we're going to put the posts, because we're going to put some like decorative railings around there to keep the dogs off, and some gates on here eventually. So we've decided we're going to do 3 posts in each side. We couldn't think whether we'd have just one long railing, but I think these are going to be acting as well as supports, because I'm going to dig them down, put concrete in, and then screw them actually to the base. So that's going to act as more support. So the more support, the better. So we're going to have 3 in this side, 3 in that side, which is a bit longer, and then we'll have a bit of a kick out there where the decking goes around that corner, and we'll just have a little piece of decorative railing on there. So the first job now is go and get my wellies on, dig the holes, concrete them in, screw them in, and then leave them to set.
I think we better take them down so we don't have any squash dogs. That was a very good catch, by the way, that one. I nearly died.
Right, can't be wellies. Roddy! Hello.
Grace and I are back in the garden today getting on with the list of jobs, and I've added on a couple of extras to the list that was already up there, and I'm going to get started with sowing peas in drain pipes. So I've got a few drain pipes and some random bits of peas left over from previous years, so I thought let's just get those away, and then that uses up those seed packets, and then I can get moving on to the next things that we're going to get sowing, or rather chitting, which are the main crop potatoes. I did say that I wasn't going to be getting any, I wasn't too sure, but then I think I also mentioned that when we went to our local garden centre, which we absolutely love, we ended up picking some up, which were the Mary Piper and the King Edward. So I do remember telling you that now. So I'm going to get those chitting as well as the peas in the drain pipes, and then I've got some weeding and stuff to get on with. I don't think any of those onions that we put in have come up yet, but I do have the red onions to go in as well. Conflicting information about the onion sets that we put in. Should be just above the surface a little bit. Maybe I've planted them too deep, who knows, we'll wait and see. But I've also got the seeds in the house, and I'm going to show you the germination success rate of those, which bloomin' heck, the peppers, they do come slow and need heat normally, but goodness me, what a year that's been, especially because we've got the Arga turned off because of everything that's going on in the world. The price of oil have gone through the roof, and we were due a new delivery. So unfortunately the Arga's gone off early, which is just heartbreaking, to be quite honest with you. So there wasn't the extra heat for the seeds to be able to use to germinate, is where I'm coming from at that, with telling you that. I'll show you how we're getting on when we get in the house with those though, and I'll get these peas in first. I've put two in at opposites, basically on the diagonal all the way along, so I've covered those up. I'm just going to cover these ones up, and then we'll get them watered. Now, when we first moved here 10 years ago, we used to pass on some of our horse milk. People used to bring, I don't know, like donations. They'd give us £1 a bag, or they would bring some seeds and things. And there was one chap that used to come every year, and then we didn't hear from him one year, so I'm not too sure what happened to him. And he brought us these peas, which I now call muck man pea. P for pea and P for purple. So these are also in today on the 14th, and I've just scattered them really thickly in this drain pipe because it's the last lot that I've got. Some years they haven't germinated, or they've died off because they've got too dry. So this is the last lot of the muckman that used to come. So fingers crossed that these germinate, and I hope he's doing well, because we haven't seen him for quite a long time. Something that we're finding super helpful on a weekend is to get a really big piece of meat out of the freezer that would do more than just the four of us in any one sitting, and pop that into the slow cooker. So at the moment, unfortunately, the Arga is not on. This is just due to the prices of oil and everything that's going on that's impacting those prices. So we haven't been able to get a delivery, which we needed, and unfortunately had to switch the Arga off early this year. So she is just sitting pretty, still growing on with the seeds and things, but yeah, she's just sitting pretty there until she's hopefully back on in the winter, but we've got a plan for that. So the slow cookers are out, so we're going to be using these. This is one of the larger ones. I think this is a 6 litre, and this is a huge piece of meat, as I said. So this is lamb leg, bone in still. I've got leeks out of the garden, one of the larger onions that we've got left in stores. Can we just take a minute to appreciate, can you see how amazing these onions are? This is, I think this is a stew run from last year. I'm so pleased with them. They're absolutely beautiful. Anyway, so one of the larger ones, I'm going to do the leeks, the onion, pop that in the bottom of the slow cooker. I'll give it a little rinse out before we pop those on the bottom, the lamb on top of the vegetables, and then I'm going to add in, we've got some of our own stock just off the shelf, and some dried rosemary. I've got rosemary in the garden as well, but I'm just going to pop the dried in today because that'll do well in the slow cooker for longer. And I'll just give it a little bit more flavour in with some salt and pepper, and then I'm also going to add in just some red currant for a little bit of flavouring, and some pearl barley, I think. That onion is absolutely perfect. Goodness me, it is so strong, made my eyes water. The only thing, it had a little split down the middle. I don't know if it came across on camera, where it had started to separate, so I just took it out, and you wouldn't know, it's not made any difference to the onion whatsoever. It's not even starting to shoot, maybe a tiny bit there. Now I don't have any fresh garlic, but I do have the store cupboard lazy. That's smoked, but it'll be absolutely fine. The leeks have had a wash, so literally creating a bed for them to go on, and then the lamb's going to sit on top of those, and I'm just going to put some of the garlic in. The rosemary is going to go on top of the lamb. That spoon doesn't fit. Is that typical or what? I'm going to be generous with the garlic, which we absolutely love. And then, in fact, I need the pearl barley first. Pack it here, and I don't wash it. I literally just put it straight in from the packet for these type of things, because it thickens up the gravy. So I've used this before, so I know this exact pack, so I know the quality of it. I'm putting plenty in because this is going to be a really large dish. So we're going to get the lamb, and now I'm not going to stick anything in it. So sometimes I would put the garlic cloves in, or the rosemary twigs, or anything like that. But I just want to get this done today, and I don't. And as I say, I haven't got any of that to hand. So let's get into this stock. Good seal. And I'm just going to pour that all around the edges. I'll put some rosemary across the top of it. Actually, just going to add a bit more water in there because it's such a big pot. Just top of the veggies. There we go, perfect. And then just a few bits of red currant for extra flavour. Again, this is an absolutely huge piece of meat, so it's just getting extra larger amounts of ingredients in. And that's just going to literally go on all day long.
I need to get some of the goats.
He's had his breakfast with the sheep. You can have that for free.
Sonic. Look at all this grass.
Right, we're cracking on again today outside with the decking project. I got as far as I could last week, got the post in, got all the membrane down up to there, so it gives me a good place to start. So I'm finished what I need to do in the house up to now. I can't do anything else with that, so turn our attention to outside. So hopefully by the end of today we'll have something recognisable that looks like a decking area. Right, it's the first bit in, the most complicated one, if that's a word. Now we should fly through it.
So for today's lunch we're having pork mince, which would normally be sausage mince, but I haven't got any left, so we're just kind of what seems like burning some here. And then we've got some leeks straight out the garden and just in with some salt and ground black pepper and just cooking in some butter. And then a whole host of eggs. There's duck and hen eggs in here. And I don't normally put milk in, but we seem to have an abundance at the moment, so I've just splashed some milk in as well. And then that'll get a good dose of black pepper too. Grating of cheddar cheese. And that'll all come together nicely. I've done the leeks separately, just because we've got people that don't really like them. So they'll end up with just meat and eggs basically. And then I've got some spring onions from the garden to go on top.
Right, that's half of it done anyway, well, over half. So, got this to do, but I need to membrane all in between these joists like I've done over there, but I've just run out of time. So we're just going to give it a good sweep. Thinking it's looking pretty cool, and probably finish it off tomorrow. Weather pending. Right, well, early start this morning. As you know, we've been struggling to get hold of some weaners to secure our pork future for this year, because the ones we had pre-ordered, they fell through. So we've been ringing around frantically for the last few weeks trying to get hold of some anyway. We had an unexpected phone call last night off a lady. She said she had some for us. We don't exactly know what we're going to get, so we've been up this morning, got everything tidied out. We've got the car loaded up. It's about an hour and a quarter away, so we need to go and get our boots on and get headed off.
Huh? You get the first one. You can have the big one. She's there.
Are you sure we can't just get the cage out?
Get eye patch first. Agatha. Oh, I thought you would get the first one, you said.
Silly. There you go.
It's okay.
What have we done?
Well, we've just got back, and as you can see, we have got 4 wieners that we, Stephen says we didn't know what we were getting. He did, he just needed that little bit extra encouragement. So
I was backed into a corner.
No, you weren't. It's been a difficult year, so every year has been getting slightly more difficult to source suitable wieners. So there's always something available, but for what we've been looking for breed-wise and age-wise and location-wise, we don't want much. It's been getting more and more difficult. So we finally had a phone call late last night, as Stephen said. Somebody from the local mart was trying to find some for us. She found them, and a lovely lady got in touch with us and said we've got some pea trains. That's, I think, how we say them. So we've got pie trains, pea trans, and now pea trains, depending on who we've spoken to. So she had these pure breed, and she said if we've got, I think she had 7 or 9 if we wanted to go and collect some. So we went down and said, come and get some gilts, said yes. Had a lovely long chat with them. So it was about a 3.5 hour trip all the way there and back. But of that, we probably stood and spoke to them for about an hour. and trying to say, look, you know, it's becoming more and more difficult to source the weaners that what we would like. Ideally we would like to be more self-sufficient moving forward, and what we had actually been looking at was getting a sow either in pig or with piglets, but because we'd never done that before, being us, we wanted to make sure that we researched it and knew what we were letting ourselves in for before we did it. However, that was one of the things that we could have done as part of getting these from somebody else, and we decided against it. But what we do think we're doing now, which is where the 4 comes from, is raising 2 as we do every year for ourselves to feed our family, and then keeping 2. And the farm that we've got them from have offered us to take them back. They have got an unrelated boar there that would be suitable to cover these 2 of these ladies, and we think that we might be keeping 2 to put in pig and to go back to them, so that that boar can sire hopefully another round of litters each, and then that gives us plenty of time, my boot's getting eaten, to do all of the research and the homework that we need to do. We probably would be able to do it now, but like I say, we want to try and get as much knowledge and speak to as many people as possible. So if you've got any advice, no doubt people have had lots of different conflicting advice, but please do leave it in the comments below. But for now, these are 4 9-week-old P-trains, all girls, 4 gilts, and we're very, very happy with them. Don't bite me.
Right, big old go on it. Alright. There you go. 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 Good. Good. There you go then. Right, well, it's Friday afternoon, just got in from work. Every day when we come home from work, we bring them a couple of balls in with some treats in, just so that they get used to us and we can handle them and give them a straw. And they've settled down loads since I've been here, like 4 or 5 days. So they're coming along great. They've already packing size on, so they might not be here as long as we thought. So that's the quick pig update. Couldn't be happier with the way things are going. I think they've got used to us a lot quicker than the other ones we've had in the past. So they seem to be a lot more placid than others we have. This big one here seems to get a bit more frisky than the rest. Hopefully it won't become a problem. But at the minute, they're doing great. So that's the pigs. Now we'll just take you over, show you how we're getting on with the decking project, and hopefully we'll get it finished this weekend. Right, well, this is how we're getting on with the decking area. As you can see, it's late afternoon and we're already getting the sun this early in the year, so by the summer this will be a beautiful sun trap. So finally got all the decking boards laid, and now we're deciding on the railing. So we've got all the posts cut to the height we want, and we're just going to use upside down decking boards. I've ran these through the planer, so I've got all the grooves off the bottom, so we're just going to put them on there as a railing. It's a nice height, and we're just going to mimic the fencing around the edge and put these up on the inside here in the middle of the posts to keep all the dogs off, because before long they'll be using this as a toilet, which is what we don't want. So we'll get them up hopefully by this weekend. All that'll be done and secure, and it'll all be done ready for the summer. So I know it's been a bit of a mismatch all through weekends in March on this video, just while we try and get rounded up and caught up. But hopefully by the time you see us in the next one, we'll be laying here in our deck chairs, supping a sangria in the midday sun. Maybe. But until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.